What's up, everybody? If you're like me, you are sick and tired of showing up to your fantasy draft totally unprepared. And the worst thing is, you probably did, like me, lots and lots of prep. We've heard this from many GMs. They're tired of doing hundreds of mock drafts, none of them being realistic, showing up to their actual draft and being totally caught off guard. And that's why we built the PFF Fantasy Mock Draft Simulator. Put thousands of hours into developing algorithms that are hyper realistic and mimic exactly what your league mates are going to do at every pick so that you can mock like you're actually going to play. We also built an optimal pick algorithm, which looks ahead, predicts what's going to happen in the future based on what your league mates might do, and then tells you what pick you should make to optimize the total number of points that you'll score each and every week. The other cool thing, we wanted you to be able to take those algorithms with you to your live draft. So if you get a PFF Plus subscription, the stuff that I talk about here can be a part of your live draft experience with the live draft assistant. All you have to do is sync your league, and then live during your draft, we both predict what your teammates, your league mates, I should say, are going to do and what you need to do at every pick to dominate. Okay, it's super easy to get started. Let's get into it. I'll show you how to make the most of the Fantasy Mock Draft Simulator. To get here, go to pff.com, tap on the red banner at the top, or download the PFF app. That way it's always one tap away. You can do a couple of different settings. You can either manually set them up or you can sync your league. I like to sync my league. That way, every time I want to do a mock for a particular league, it's super, super easy. Syncing your league takes like 10 seconds. I'll sync a sleeper league right now so you can see just how easy it is. I've set up a couple of test leagues. Let's go ahead and rip this first one. And then after I've synced my league, I can go right back to the Fantasy Mock Draft Simulator and use this synced league here. Okay, so you can see it populates all of the information about my league. What are the types of positions that I have? How many teams? What's the scoring type? I'm actually going to do a manual one today so I can show you what my home league is like and how you can take advantage of the PFF Mock Draft Simulator to mimic your home league. So I've got 10 teams. We'll keep the rest the same. Let's draft out of the 4-hole today. It is PPR and it's pretty standard settings, but it's very competitive. So here's the thing. I can customize not just my strategy, but also my opponent's strategy. So my home league, this one in particular, is from high school. And I know everyone there is a San Francisco 49ers fan. So I'm going to go ahead and change their favorite teams. And what this does is it changes the way they're going to draft. So not only will they draft using the ADP of this particular league, if I have it synced, it would be sleeper here. I'm just doing it manual to show you. So not only will my league mates draft using what they're actually going to see when they do their draft, but they're also going to draft with their own particular tendencies. So even if you look back at history, maybe there's some guys who's love the Niners, but they weren't in a place to pick those players. You can set these manually right here. I'm going to do it for the first 3 teams. And then I'm ready to go. I could choose, to augment my strategy, maybe do a 0 RB, do a late round QB. Maybe I want to stack. I want to kind of parlay my chips together, take a Josh Allen and a Stephon Diggs if I can. But I'm going to leave these blank for now. You can go rip a ton of drafts and try these out yourself. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm going to hit launch mock draft. And immediately what you're going to see on the screen is you're going to see the way that PFF gives you the optimal choice at every single pick based on what your opponents are doing. So let me take you through what you're seeing on the screen so you know how to leverage it to the best of your ability. I can see that Jefferson and Chase went 1 and 2. CMC went number 3. I know CMC is going to be gone by this point just because of how much everyone loves the 49ers. So I'm not surprised to see this start out this way. So up here, I can see the PFF Draft Assistant. Remember, I can get this live during my draft with the PFF Plus subscription. And what it gives me is a pick grade. This looks at the chances that Travis Kelce gives you the most points over the next available players at that position. So if I draft Kelce now, this gives me the biggest edge over my opponents. I can look at whether Kelce is going to be there in the next round. I know he's not going to be. He's got a 0% chance of being there. And I can look ahead. I can say, okay, if I draft Travis Kelce, who are the best players that are likely to be available when I draft in the second round? We know how important that is, right? If I pick a player in one round, I don't want to screw myself over in the next round. So that's all the information I get here in the draft assistant. If I scroll down, I can either look at the rankings view or I can look at the cheat sheet. So if I'm looking at the rankings view, I can see all the players ranked. I can see their ADPs. I can see how many projected points we predict they will have. And I can see the percentage chance that they're going to be available in next round. I can also order by the PFF pick grade, so I can see all of the players that we'd recommend. Of course, these are the top 4 that I saw just a second ago. I can keep looking down. I can scroll through here and draft any of these players if I want. I can also look at the cheat sheet. The cheat sheet will tell me a kind of expanded view and allow me to see if I'm going to wait on a particular position, who's likely to be available for me. So I can see here, if I take a tight end, who are the running backs that are likely to be available for me when my next pick comes around? You can see Tony Pollard. We like him a lot. He's got a 96% chance to be available the next time I draft. And as far as wide receivers, it's going to be a little bit of slim pickings, but I could go with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, or Jalen Waddle likely to still be available. I can also turn on drafted players so I can see the players that have already been picked. And as the draft is happening, I can see that go. Okay, just for fun, I'm going to take Kelsey right now because I'm going to do a bunch of these drafts. I want to see what happens when I take a tight end, what my teams look like, and what happens when I take either a receiver like Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, or Stephon Diggs in this spot. I could also try taking a running back here, but So let's go ahead and rip with Travis Kelsey. I can see that pick come in. And now I'm waiting. I can see the players get crossed off. I'm kind of hoping Tony Pollard is still around. I know that a lot of those top players are going to be off the board, but I'm hoping there's someone really good that I can grab either at receiver or running back. Okay, so I can see now that my best option is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Tony Pollard also still available as predicted. So Amon-Ra, I know he's going to catch a ton of passes. I don't have a wide receiver yet. I'm going to go ahead and go with Amon-Ra, but I want to kind of look ahead and say, like, okay, what's likely to be the case when I come back around? I see Pollard still has a 43% chance of being available based on his ADP, which is what everyone's looking at. I can see that those three receivers that I really like are all going to be gone. So I need to grab Amon-Ra St. Brown here, kind of hope that there's either one of these running backs still around, or I might be able to go with a top end QB. I can see that Hurts and Allen have a decent chance of being available. So I feel like I've got good options. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best pick here, and I'm going to go with him right now. Okay, so you get the gist of it. Let's do one more pick just so you can see what happens here. I can see that Chubb, Waddle, Hurts went, unfortunately, and Pollard got sniped from me. So now I'm in a bunch of hurt, right? Not so much. We obviously know that's happening as it's happening, and you're ready with the optimal pick once the pick comes to you. So even if all those players that you wanted get drafted, your algorithm is tuned to make sure that it gives you the best pick at every single slot. All right, Josh Allen's still around. I'm going to take Josh Allen here just to make it quick. And then we're going to fast forward all the way to the end so you can see how my team ended up. Okay, I finished my draft. I got an A. You can see I'm happy about that. A lot of really good picks. Of course, I went with the PFF optimal strategy, so I should expect to be getting high grades. That means that I'm doing better than the other players in my league and who they're drafting in those rounds. I can see that I deviated a little bit. I really like Deontay Johnson this year. I got Kadarius Toney, who I think has a chance to be, maybe a Tyreek Hill in that offense if things hit right and he doesn't get injured. So I took a little chance there. Love getting Kincaid here in round 13. But overall, really excited about my team. But I immediately know what I want to do. I want to go back. I want to try this again. And I want to do so without picking Kelsey in that 4 hole, see what my team looks like if I do that. And I can do that really easily by starting a new draft. I can also screenshot this and share it with some friends, see what they think, get them to kind of maybe try this out a little bit. As long as they're not in my league, I don't want anyone to have an unfair advantage. So go check this out at pff.com or on the PFF app and enjoy prepping for your league like a pro. We'll see y'all later.